So, what is a golf swing and what makes it work? One of the big reasons I got involved in teaching, to be honest, it wasn't to help whoever's listening here. I really, at the time, didn't care about anybody other than me. Here's what I cared about. When I was young, I came to this game, I got really good really fast. I was a very good player at a young age. I'd only played a couple of years. I won our state open. I was a college All-American. Then I started taking lessons and I got worse. And well intended that everybody was, what they gave me, I'd practice and I got better at doing it. But the results under pressure weren't nearly as good as it was when I was 17 and 18 years old relative to hitting the ball. I would hit shots offline that I couldn't even believe I hit them that far offline. Now, I became, a couple of times in my career, I become homicidal and suicidal within about 30 seconds. And as different people outside the industry all of a sudden helped me understand what I had as a kid, at first I wanted to go physically harm the people who took me out of what I naturally had, you know, and then kill myself so I didn't have to deal with the ramifications. And then I got a little more sensible and I said, okay, fine. They were well intended. There hasn't been one person give me a lesson that wasn't trying to make me significantly better, and they believe they were, and I appreciate all the help they gave me, for sure. But here's what happened. After about my 5th or 6th teacher, and 8 or 9 or 10 years running around, going to tour schools, getting to the final, not quite making it, and then I got hurt. I hurt my lower back and my neck. Ran into a physiologist who started to help me understand some things. And what I decided right there, my career was basically over. I decided I was going to figure out just what the heck happened to me. So what I have today wasn't because I had this increasing desire or unbelievable desire to teach people how to play golf. I was pissed off at what had happened to me, and I was going to figure out what happened. So what I started with is I started in the 1800s, and I started buying books that were written on golf instruction in the 1800s. And what I would do is I'd buy a book, I'd read it, I'd put an outline down, I'd say, okay, philosophy of the book, philosophy of the game, grip, ball position, setup, alignment, backswing, top of the swing, transition, impact, follow through, short game if they had it, and I would write down what the main idea was in the book in each one of those areas. Then I'd take another book, another big teacher, and I'd write down his. And I went through about 40 or 50 books from the 1850s up to about 1906. And then I took all those books that I had and all those summaries, and I made a summary of the summaries. And so, philosophy of the game, was there a constant? Yes, there was. What was it? Grip, was there a constant? Like, for instance, grip, always the constant in grip was light grip pressure. That seemed to be constant. Now, there was a different position, but light grip pressure seems to be constant. And then setup, ball position, backswing, transition, impact, follow through, boom. What are the constants? So then I had a summary sheet from all those 1856 to 1906. Then I started reading books from 1906 to 1986, which is when I did this. Did the same thing again. Then I had about 30 or 40 top books from top teachers from 1906 to 1986. Did the same thing, did the same summaries, came up with a summary sheet for those. Then I took the summary sheet for that and the summary sheet for the early ones, and I said, let's do a summary sheet of those two summary sheets. And here's what that came out to. Grip, aim, ball position, impact position. There was a similarity that held over the entire history of golf. So when those similarities held, like for instance impact, or light grip pressure, or whatever it was, at that time I was really studying physiology and anatomy and how the body works. So then I went, from a physiological perspective, from a physics perspective, why have these certain things held over the history of golf? Because the human body hasn't changed. It can only do certain things and move certain ways. So there's certain things that have held consistently over the history of mankind relative to sports and movement. Why? Because that's how this thing's designed. It's what it's designed to do. And as soon as I saw that, I went, okay, now I get what has been common and why it's been common relative to human movement. And that's when it really started to make sense, because then the things that I did as a kid, they fit into those patterns. So the reason I was good at them is because they didn't violate what the body was designed to do. And I had learned them in other sports. As soon as that clicked, I started to get significantly better and all the people I started working with. Now I've continually studied learning. That's another issue. How does the brain learn? How does a person learn? What do you start with? That's something most people don't look at. When you understand how you learn a movement pattern and how you learn a global movement pattern and the process you go through, if you start to understand that, half of what's taught in golf makes absolutely no sense because it starts with global movement patterns first. You're not ready for it. You don't have the small motor skills to be able to react to the global movement patterns. So you're screwed. Even if your body moves correctly, this doesn't work, so you still can't hit it. So then I started to learn about learning and how you learn. I learned a lot about the eyes. The eyes perceive, the brain receives, the body reacts. So what your eyes see, a lot of times in golf, because of where we are, the picture where you think the target is, it isn't there. It's someplace else. So if you don't understand that and your body starts reacting to the vision that gives your brain gives your body something to react to. It's reacting to the wrong picture. And then you wonder why you struggle. And I bring people out and I show them that and I go, has anybody ever shown you this? They go, no. I even get tour players I show them. Everybody ever shown it? No. You know, to me it's like, well, that's why most of you struggle. You end up making a movement because your eyes and your brain think the target's somewhere it isn't. And so all it's doing is it's a taskmaster. It thinks the target's over here and it's really over there. It's not going to swing this way. It's going to swing that way because it thinks the target's over here. So as I learn more and more about that, then the eyes and the brain and how it reacts, and then we get into your brain. Okay, it's a taskmaster. It also is designed, it's called fight or flight. It protects you from harm. So whatever your subconscious believes the task to be, when you put it under pressure, it's going to default to what it believes to be correct to protect you from harm. So if your subconscious thinks you're supposed to twist your hips, or it thinks the target's over to the left, and everybody's been telling you, well, swing out to right field, swing out to right field. As soon as you put any pressure on yourself, what's going to happen? Your subconscious is going to get right here and it's going to go, screw that, I don't care, I think the target's over here and I've got to protect you from harm, swing to the left. And then you go, you choking dog, you can't do this. No, you can do it, it's just there's a disconnect between what you see, what your brain perceives, and what your body's reacting to. All of those things that I've learned have been from outside of golf. That's another reason why I feel like I'm pretty good relative to helping people with this game, because most people, and quite honestly, I wouldn't have gone through it. I did it by chance. I just ran into people. I mean, I didn't plan to do it. It just kind of kept happening. Then these people started making sense and they helped me and I started getting better. That's what this site's about. I spent a lifetime trying to go through this and starting to figure things out, and it's starting to get pretty damn simple. What's interesting is the lifetime of pursuit of all of this stuff has kind of simplified itself down into a couple of basic things. Now, if you want to sit down and have a discussion about all these things, we can, but I would rather just give you what I've learned makes you better and why, and let you just have fun with the game. Unless you want to break it down into either the biomechanics or the neurological firing patterns, for the heck of talking about it, we can do that. I don't see the point, because I didn't know it when I was a kid, but I was really good. So I want to get you to engage and connect with you personally, the universe around you, how your body moves, so this game becomes an artistic expression of you through a game rather than a mechanical science. That's what I had, that's what I want each one of you to get, and I want you to be able to help other people do the same thing. So, thanks all of you from all over the world for being a part of the site. We're going to keep growing it, we're going to keep putting more information out there, and hopefully keep simplifying down what it is and helping you to understand, not just play golf, but understand it, which is kind of my byline, because I never understood it. I did what people told me to do, and half of it didn't make sense. I want it to make sense to you, so you go, oh, well, that makes sense. I can tell somebody else, and it actually helps them. That's the whole goal of the site. Thanks again. Look forward to being with you.